Hello, how are you doing? And what are you getting into? This is Alana Brown. For those of you who don't know me, I work with women to help them empower, enhance, and execute on the ideas that they have in life and in business. As I always say, if you're watching this live, put a 1 below. If you're watching the replay, drop a 2 below. Alrighty, the title of this is Love, Whiskey, and Herbs. What could she possibly talking about? Talking about love, whiskey, and herbs. What could I possibly be saying? So what could I possibly be talking about with a title like Love, Whiskey, and Herbs? See if somebody give a minute for somebody to come on here. Alrighty. I'm going to get into it in just a second. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful day today. Alrighty. So love, whiskey, and herbs. What am I talking about? I was talking to somebody today. I said, because I'm an older person, middle age. And I said, I remember back in the day when in our community, in our community, people of color community, we used to be so tip-top shape. We used to feel so good. We used to look good. And we used to maintain our health. We used to manage our own health. The doctors, there was not the end-all, be-all for us. The doctors didn't have to say over our children, over if we had anxiety, over high blood pressure, nothing. We have faith in God. And so our faith in God superseded any doctor or whatever. We didn't see the doctor all the time. We had love, we had whiskey, and we had herbs. Would I be my whiskey? Something happened to you? They'll give you some hot toddy. Have a hot toddy, go to sleep. You feel better. You don't have no anxiety. You didn't have ADHD, CDD, ODD, OCD, MLLD. None of that stuff was going on. Your family rallied around you. They loved you. They told you they loved you. They spent time with you. If somebody was depressed or going through stuff, everybody come over their house and have a good time and just spend time with them. We had love, we had whiskey, and we had herbs. You know, my grandmother used to make her own grease and she rub it on you and you felt so much better with the herbs. You felt a whole lot better. Your eyes cleared up, your hair cleared up. You wasn't on Valiums. You wasn't on pills like we on now. We wasn't on high blood pressure medicine. People wasn't taking Viagra like they doing now. And we have all these issues. And I said, what happens to those days when we just had love, whiskey, and herbs? When people come, you depressed, your girlfriends love on you and hug you and spend time with you and cook you a meal and everybody come together as a community. We can't even have a conversation now without our telephones. We meet somebody in person, they looking down at their phone. We go out to dinner, people looking at their phone. We've lost the power of the touch of a human person, touching another person, let them know you love them and reach out to them. I think a lot of problems that people have is because they left to themselves too much. Too many people are left to themselves without love, without whiskey, without herbs. You know, I used to give my daughter catnip tea. That was an herb. Slept all night. Breast milk, catnip tea. That's what we did. Now these kids got eczema, asthma, breathing problems, anxiety, all kind of stuff that I never even heard of. The little kids got old people's diseases now because we missing out on that love, whiskey, and herbs. Just need some hot toddy, some love done on, some spending some time, some rallying around together and just having a good time. What happened to those days where you call somebody on the phone to see how they was doing, not texting them, going over to see how they were doing, spending time with one another, scheduling days for women to have their groups and their talk. That woman interaction. Now I see so many women saying, I don't have women friends. I don't trust women. How can you be a good partner to the opposite sex and you don't have no relationship with nobody of the same sex? That just don't come together. Because how you show up in one place is how you show up everywhere. It's just interesting how we've gotten so far away from being able to really have that real human connection and interaction. I was just saying, now we see the doctors more than we ever saw the doctors when I coming up. We had herbs. We had catnip tea. We had valerian herbs. We had ashwagandha. And I could just go on and on and on. Pennyroyal. We took pine oil. Tea tree oil you put on your skin. I was telling somebody the other day, I told them when I put on for my moisturizer, she said, oh, I couldn't put that on my face. I said, yeah. I got way more miles on me than you do, and I've been putting that on my face since I was a kid. I don't use commercial products. I grew up on the days of love, whiskey, and herbs. We had a hot toddy. If you was having an anxiety attack, they put some whiskey and some lemon and some tea and some honey together. You knocked out. You went to sleep. You woke up. The anxiety was over. Now we losing all this human touch. We broken that thread. And how I came across this subject today with my friend, when we were talking about love, whiskey, and herbs, how we came across that, I told her that companies, when you file a suit or something happens with a company, they go back 20 years on your medical history. They go into what they call the MIB, the Medical Insurance Bureau. And they can put up any ailment, anything you have, because most of us don't manage our health like we used to. We go to the doctor for everything. Oh, I think I got a pain. Let me go see what the doctor say. Oh, I think my son is he won't listen to me. Let me go to the doctor, see if he got ADD. All kind of stuff. A long time ago, we managed our health. We had a community of people that loved one another. We showed attention and affection to one another. I knew my neighbors when I was growing up. We were like family. We worshiped, we prayed, we loved on one another. And then you just have some whiskey and put it with some lemon and some oranges and some honey, and you went to sleep and you felt better. So you had love of the community, love of your family, love of your friends, because you had girlfriends. Now you have women don't even trust other women. That don't even make any sense. We had herbs. The baby slept all night, giving some catnip tea and some breast milk. Now these babies is asthmatic and sick all the time. And they got all these medicines and formulas, and the kids don't sleep all night. I don't understand how we have a baby in the hospital, and then hi, sweetheart, peace and blessings, we have a baby in the hospital. The baby is sleeping. You let the hospital tell you to wake the child up to feed him. Who wakes up to eat? That's not even natural. I had my kids. I did not wake my kids up, and know what they did? They slept from 8 to 8. All 3 of them. I had a midwife with my daughter. Breastfed all of them. Didn't ever give my kids cow's milk. I never gave them a cow formula. We don't need to do that. We was able to manage our health. And how we got on this subject is that I was talking about how when you have a workman's comp or some issue or something, companies go back 20 years on your health. They go into the Medical Insurance Bureau to see what you filed, what's been filed, what's been said about you. Because we go to the doctor for every pain, our toenail, our eyelash, anything. When you don't manage your health, you seem like a person whose life is out of control. So that means your testimony about what you're saying becomes incredible. It doesn't become that credible. People don't realize how you manage your life is important. Running to the doctor every second is not managing your life. We've lost touch with the community of loving one another. That was so important. My grandmother had great sisterhood, great friends, and they all loved each other and helped each other and supported each other. We didn't have kids going to daycare. I never had a key to my house. I wasn't a latchkey kid growing up. And I'm thinking about, we were better off with having our own herbs in the community, having love with each other, and having a little hot toddy with a little whiskey with a little hot toddy and go to sleep. That cured anxiety. That cured headaches. That cured nerve problem. Everything you had, you just had a hot toddy. And we got all this stuff now. We got people with Viagra. You know, you had men 80 years old still active back in the day. Now we got brothers 20 and 30 years old with issues because their blood is all clogged up and they going to the doctor every second. The doctor giving you more medicine, making you more sick, making your blood flow more clogged up. People take blood pressure medicine and still, blood pressure still ain't managed. Why is you doing it? You're taking anxiety pills and you still got anxiety. That don't even make no sense. When I was coming up, whatever you took a herb for, you didn't keep taking the herbs for it, it went away. Now we got better. We sophisticated. We pay top dollar for medicine that we got to stay on for the rest of our life. You got eczema and ain't never going away. You got asthma and ain't going away. You got anxiety, ain't got to go away. You got diabetes, the doctor say he can't cure that. You got cancer, can't cure that. You got elbow problems, arthritis, all these issues that the doctors can't cure, but we keep running to the doctor. Wow. I was thinking about, this is recently, happened to me 2017 actually, 2016. I was having something going on with my tooth, and I was going to go to this place. I was in California, going to go take care of it. And I was getting ready to go take it, was getting big, and all this was pus, all this was all oozing out and stuff. And so I was going to go to the doctor. And so when I was going to, the man took somebody else ahead of it. Something happened where he didn't see me. But he said we was going to have to operate and do surgery, go all up in here and do something with my mouth and all this. So I got some clove oil. I got some neem powder, Neem. Some clove oil, some neem powder, some tea tree oil. And I carried Q-tips with me. And I would take I would get the pus out, go it out. And I did this every 30 minutes to an hour. And I would swish my mouth with the neem powder and stuff and the clove, and I would just kept going. On day number 2, it was going down. Day number 3 was much better. All this was drawn all down and was much better. My sister-in-law called me and she said, so-and-so had the same issue. You know, when you was trying to go in, she got in just a few days ago. I said, yeah, I had the same problem that day. They said, yeah, but she ain't gonna never be the same. They took her, went up in here, operated on her, and stroked her out, and she's disabled the rest of her life. All I did was take neem powder, clove oil, Q-tip, and tea tree oil. Also, too, I do oil pulling. One of my teeth remineralized. It remineralized. So, which means that you can, it's there. Yeah. So, we had love, we had herbs, we had whiskey. I don't mean whiskey like we was drinking whiskey. I mean, we had the hot toddies. We have gotten so far away from communicating with one another visually, calling each other to see how we're doing without sending this stupid text. When you go out with your girlfriends or with your opposite sex, you can't even have a great relationship because everybody's texting or talking. Because something else outside of you is much better than what you're doing right now. Everything you need is on the inside of you, but something outside of you is always much more stimulating. So you're right here with me right now, but you're thinking about Facebook and your social media and all that. You can't live without seeing what everybody else is doing. So that means that you're literally not living your life. You're sitting there with me thinking about doing something else. And then when you're doing something else, you're thinking about how you should have been with me. You're always someplace else except for where you are. Which means that you are missing out on manifesting some powerful stuff in your life being definite, deliberate, and directed, you've lost control of the ability and your own power. You've given it over to somebody else. So, which means that you might need discernment. You might need a revelation. You might need foresight, insight, understanding. Without revelation, the people will perish. Without a vision, they perish. So the vision that you should have had, you don't have it, because the vision comes from the inside of you, which is the spirit. So the spirit of you is lost in looking around at other things. So now you're being distracted and you're being numb. It's okay for you to watch your brother get shot down, somebody's son to get shot down in the street, and you don't think nothing of it, and you say, why are we getting all upset? Why are we making everything about race or this or that? Because you've been numb and desensitized to what's really happening, because you're never where you're supposed to be. You're out of your mind. Because you lost contact with who you are, what you are, and what God says you are, because God is in you, on you, all around you, living in you, through you, and living as you, so that you can be the highest expression of you, so that you can express whatever is heaven, it will be on earth in this life. But you cannot be your best you, because you lost self to everything else. You lost self to the doctor. You run to the doctor for everything. You lost self to, you trust everything except for the Most High. And you're looking for everything in somebody else except for looking for it in you. People always get lost when I tell them. They say, I'm going to go over here and be here. I said, you're going to be you wherever you go. What you mean by that? You're going to be you wherever you go. Wherever you go, you need to make sure that you understand that you're going to be there too. So if there's an issue here, if you get there, you're probably going to find the same issue, because you vibrate on the same frequency to attract the same thing in a new geographical area. So you move to a new geographical area with the same problems that you had in the other area, because you on the frequency you own, and you attracting what you're attracting. So what you need to do is go inside of you and fix you. I told somebody, I said, the best way to be a better partner is to be a better you. Before you get the partnership, you got to love you and be with you. But if you don't want to be with you, what makes you think somebody else want to be with you? Because we forgot who we are. We need to get back to the days of love, herbs, and whiskey. Love, whiskey, and herbs. Those are some good old days. Where you just had the love of your community, the love of your church, the love of your mother, the love of your friends, the love of your family. You had a community of friends where you stuck together, you loved and looked out for one another because you wanted the best of one another. And then you commune, you had dinner together. You know, a long time ago, we did not go to folks' house that we was not in agreement with their lifestyle. If we did not agree with your lifestyle, you did not let your kids go over so-and-so house and eat their food. You should say, no, they come over here. You can't go over there. We don't have no principles now. We eat with anybody. We break bread with anybody. We talk and do anything with anybody. But the folks we supposed to bond with, we say, oh, I don't get along with women. I only talk to men. That's why ain't no man loving you the way he's supposed to love you, because you don't love the feminine side of yourself. That's why you don't like the other people. I tell people all the time, you are responsible for your own healing. If you was let go from your father, you was rejected by your mother, and you feel like you've been isolated from a people, then you still responsible for how you feel about you. You still responsible for going through that healing process. You still responsible for being healed. You still have to be responsible for your own deliverance. You owe that to yourself. If I can take anything away from this video, please know that you got to manage your own health. The doctor is not God. The doctor is not God. Google is not God. Google lies. If you Google foolishness something, what does it say? Anger rests in the bosom of a fool. They say Einstein said it. Einstein didn't say it's in the Bible. Solomon wrote that. Solomon was around long before Einstein. If you Google lie, because there's a man that started Google. So whatever lies they've been telling us the whole time in history, it's the same lies that they putting on Google. So when you Googling thing, if you think Webster is the end all be all, then God can't give you a new word and a new language and a new understanding or insight, foresight about anything, because you base your life on what Webster say. But God might want to drop a new language for your community in your spirit, drop a new word for you, and then that word become new in Webster. But because you looking at what has already been done, you can't trailblaze a new path that God He want to take you on a path that nobody been on, but you so busy Googling and on social media trying to figure out what everybody else is doing till you don't even know where you're supposed to be. Because you forgot what you look like. You forgot where you're supposed to be. You forgot who you serve. And you forgot who you're supposed to be serving. And first of all, you forgot to love self. And you forgot to understand that you will only find what you're looking for within you. You're not going to find it in nobody else. When you show up, you're supposed to be complete. People kill me when they say that's my better half. So you not whole? So you in pieces? So when I meet a man, he in pieces and I'm in pieces. We just gonna be a mess. I'm gonna look at my thank you, sis. But so I meet you, I'm in pieces, and you meet me, you a man, you in pieces. So we both in pieces. And how we gonna get to, what we gonna get to if you in pieces and I'm in pieces, when we get together, all we make it is a mess. We just a mess. People, we need to be whole when we get with other people. We need to know that God can, I told somebody the other day, I said, everything you say, everything you think, everything you do, all your actions, your practices and habits is a request. It's a prayer. I said, so if you gossiping about me, you praying for yourself. Whatever you saying about other people, you're saying it for yourself. You saying it for yourself and your posterity and the friends and family around you. That's why people used to, a long time ago, the Bible says, know those that labor among you. The reason why I say those that labor among you, because you can be a partaker of another man's sin. How you be a partaker of them? Because you were guilty by association. So if I'm associating with an adulterer to hang out with him all the time, I can't say, well, I didn't know what she was doing. The Holy Spirit didn't show you who she was. You didn't know what she was about. So now you set up a lineage for you and your family and posterity and all your friends, your close proximity of people wonder why they sick, wonder why stuff happening to them. Stuff happening to them because they connected to you and you connected to some wicked people. So you done brought sin into the camp. And so now you affected everybody around you. You affected your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your kids is not even born yet. Your grandkids that's about to come. Now your grandkid come, he got an attitude. He's an adult. You wonder what happened. Why does he want to do? Oh, I hung out with a girlfriend years ago. She used to do that. So now you got a boundary of generational situations that you, because of who you associated with, because you did not have no righteousness in you, because you was looking for something outside of you in somebody else, thinking they had more to offer than you had. So therefore you had to connect with what was wicked. And so the wickedness affected you, your family, and those to come. People don't understand. If you're around sick folk all the time, then you're going to become sick. If you're around impoverished mindset people, then you're going to become impoverished. If you're around bankrupt people, when they bankrupt in their spirit, then you're going to be spiritually empty. If you're around people that suffer from depression, you're going to suffer from depression. So if you're around people, the people that you are around are affecting you and your posterity. So if you around people, if you don't have any values, you eat with anybody, you associate with anybody, and you hang out with anybody, you wonder why your daughter is acting a fool. You said, well, my husband act like that, I ain't like that, but what kind of friends are you hanging around with? Your friends are affecting your lineage. Your legacy that you leaving behind is attached to the spiritual line that you got with this heathen over here. This is why a long time ago, if you broke bread with anybody, you was in agreement with their lifestyle. You were in agreement with them. We need to get back to the days of love. herbs and whiskey. Because back in those days, you loved folks who love you. You hung around folks who had similar values to you. If they didn't have the same values you had, you didn't hang out with them. You love your sister. You didn't try to compete with your sister. You didn't go off on your sister. You didn't say, I don't hang around women. I only like men. And then the men you get, they mistreat you because you don't know how to treat the sister that God put into your life. You didn't put your kids away like we do. There wasn't daycare like we have all these latchkey daycare people molesting our children, doing stuff. The community looked out for one another. Then you had herbs, you had whiskey. What was the whiskey? It was the hot toddy that you put down. The hot toddy helped you with depression. It helped you with depression, toothache, headache, backache, rheumatoid, anxiety. And we didn't keep those diseases. Now we got a pill for everything. You got OCD. You got pills for ADD. You got pill for ADH. You got pill for cardiovascular situation. You got pill for rheumatoid. You got pill for your booty. You got pill because your breast problems. You got eye problems. You got nose problem. You got a mouth problem. You got an ear problem. You got a hair problem. Then you got pills for your hair and everything. And ain't nothing getting cured. But you didn't give the doctor all this power. Your child's still sick. Your child got eczema, asthma. I see more kids with leukemia, asthma, and eczema than I ever saw in my life. I said it's in their diet. But the doctor told you to keep on giving them dog products. Because the doctor wants to stay, and doctors don't live a long time. They can't teach you how to manage your life because most doctors die before they retire. The doctor lifespan is short. And that's how yours going to be if you listen to them. So I'm saying we need to take our power back. We need to quit letting people kill our kids in the street and we act like we desensitized, that we been zoomed out on these phones so much till we can't see folks being killed and executed for no reason. And we should be shutting down the freeways and the bridges. We should be so angry and so upset about what is happening among ourselves, but we can't even think for ourselves. We acting like it ain't nothing. I know it used to be a day we didn't know anybody on death row. Now a lot of us know somebody not only on death row, but know somebody's been executed, know somebody that's been shot down and killed for no particular reason. Child going to school and been shot. The child was doing something, the police and killed him, and all these different things that are happening. Because we've been desensitized, because we lost sense of community, we lost sense of self, we lost sense of God, we lost sense of loving our own sisters. Women, love your sisters, love your sisters, love your sisters. Quit competing with other women, quit putting other women down, quit being catty, quit talking about them, quit hating on one another. You cannot have a good relationship with the opposite sex if you don't even know how to have a sisterhood. And I'm going to tell you, men mistreat women who don't have good women relationships. It's going to come back and haunt you. And quit letting people kill your kids. If Mike Brown was killed, that's our son. Oscar Grant is our son. Everybody that's been slaughtered for no particular reason, that's your child. If they can do it to them, they will do it to you. Let us please be conscious. Wake up. Quit going to sleep. Quit taking pills that's not curing you. Quit hanging around people that don't have the same moral values as you, and quit trying to assimilate with people that's killing you and harming your community. Please love yourself, because you are an expression of God in the earth realm. You are an expression of who we're supposed to be. We had love, we had herbs, we had whiskey. We had that hot toddy. Hot toddy cured everything. I got a headache. Come on, baby, get some hot toddy. Come on, mama love you. Do your friends rally around you? Your husband left you. Oh, girl, just call Joan and gone crazy. She said she having an anxiety attack. I'll be over there.
I'm going to bring some, girl, I'm going to bring some lemons and honey. Yeah, me too, girl. I got the whiskey. Okay. Girl, we going to cook for you. We love you. Girl, go on over there in that bed. Drink that hot toddy. Girl, she talking about she have anxiety attack. Anxiety went away. You took the hot toddy, you got some herbs, and your friends loved on you, and it went away. Now we taking herbs, we taking pills. The anxiety ain't leaving, the eczema not leaving, the toothache not leaving, the asthma not leaving, the leukemia not leaving. You got migraines. You're eating pills all day like it's candy, and you're still sick. The doctor is not here to heal you or cure you. He's here to get rich off of your ignorance. We are burying our own people at the expense of our own self because we refuse to be conscious about what's happening, and we refuse to love ourselves and those that look like us. We better get back to community. We better get back to loving our sisters. We better get back to loving our families. We better get back to looking out for the neighbor's child, your neighbor, who he said, who is my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, but he that does the will of my father. That's who my family is. And we have to get to back to, we got too many folks we leaving to themselves. They snatching kids because there's no community. If there is a community, you can't come into a strong-led community and snatch somebody's child that went out to take the trash. You know why? Because you would have hell to pay. I was just telling somebody a long time ago, you got into a relationship and the relationship wasn't working out. Your uncle came over, your cousin came over, your mama came over, and they put that nigga stuff outside. They said, listen, don't mess with one of ours. If you come back over here, you're going to come up missing. I remember one time I was a little girl, I was 5 years old, I was walking in the street, walking across the street coming from Manzanita School in Oakland, California. I was coming from the school, and the man said, hey, little girl. And I kept walking like I mean, said, hey, little girl. People started coming out that way and said, wait a minute. She said, hey, who is you? That's Sister Ward's daughter, granddaughter. Who's you? Then they say, hey, Joe, come over here. This man over here. Hey, this man, come over here messing with her. The people they start coming out the house on 26th Avenue, coming out. Come on, baby, get in my car. You just go, we're going to take you home. Then my grandfather got in the car and went looking for the man. Honey, they didn't play back then. The community said something. Now, well, I think I saw the little girl a few minutes ago. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it was a man talking to her. Now, why you sit right there and let the man talk to her? Why you didn't say something? That's why they can come in our communities and snatch our children like it's nothing. One thing I loved about when I had my children in the school with the nation, let me tell you something about them. Could nobody come get your kid out of there? They was willing to die for your children. And the people that's willing to die for what they believe in is a force to be reckoned with. Let's get back to love, herbs, and whiskey. It ain't never too late to wake up, but as long as you have breath, then you got an opportunity to come together with family, love on your sister if you're a sister, if you're a man, love your brother. Men, teach these young men. You see they don't have no fathers, go and teach them. You see these women, y'all talking about girls is being video vixens. Then what you gonna teach them how to be? All you doing is talking about what they got on and how they look, but you're not showing them a more excellent way. Show them a more excellent way. Quit calling girls hoes and bees. I see women say she ain't nothing but a hoe, but show her how to be virtuous. Show her what virtuosity look like. Show her how to be an effective force. Give her some wisdom, some insight, some foresight. Show her how to love on herself, how to clutch her pearls and go, oh, that's not right. Show her how to do what you think is best. It said, let the aged women teach the women. But we want to talk about this somebody else's child. Ooh, she sure don't respect her. One thing nobody can't say, my sister-in-law was on here. I disciplined her. She had 3 daughters. When I came into that family, she had 3 and I had 1. And I told you, I disciplined Tasha, Kenesha, Gloria, and Kiana. Oh, Angie didn't say a word. That's what's wrong with us. We don't know how to come together. She go out of town, do stuff. I had the house hopping. I had them all cooking and cleaning and doing stuff. She come back house together. She just said, you better not discipline my kids. What's wrong with us? We need to get back to that day of love and family. We need that love, that herbs and the whiskey. We need to get back to that. Google ain't God. Quit Googling everything. God might want to give you a word that's not even in Webster. God might want you to start a new language with your community. So if something that break out, you can communicate and won't nobody know what you're saying. But you can't you can't do a new blaze, a new trail. You can't blaze a new trail because you're trying to do what everybody else doing. I'm going to get off of here. I don't want on this love, whiskey, and herbs for a long time, but I'll tell you this, I love you. But we need to love ourselves. We need to love those who look like us. We need to take care of our own community. We need to get back to herbs. We need to go grow our own plants, grow our own food. I'm serious about this. We need to start growing our own foods, grow our own herbs, doctor on ourselves. If you got anxiety, you can get rid of it. Let the sisters love up on you. Feel love. If you feel like you've been left out because your father didn't do for you what he should have been doing, and you 40 years old, you still tripping, and you still every relationship you get in, you don't know how to handle it, let somebody help you. Because it's time that we wake up, because we're going to need to be woke because something is getting ready to break out. And whatever's getting ready to happen, we better be ready. We can't be ready by being desensitized about things that's going on. We're going to have to wake up and stand up. We can't look to the doctor. You better look to the Most High. You can't look looking for something outside of you to please you. You are everything. You got everything in you that you need, and you're equipped to give something to somebody else. Peace and blessings. Have a good one. Share and share, share and share. Like and share. Like and share. Peace and blessings.